from RIE Mysore, PhD from RIE Mysore, and she has her MSc in chemistry from St. Mary's College, Sultan Bathery, and she's also the university rank holder for MEd. And she has a professional acumen of over 18 years, presented 26 papers in various national and international seminars. She has completed 3 research projects, published articles in national and international journals, around 13 papers she has published, and she has, to her credit, 6 chapters in edited book. And to talk about her, she goes the extra mile to help friends and students, and a highly competent with a sound bend of research mind, humble and very amicable teacher, an appropriate and relevant person to discuss today's topic. So when she discusses her or presents her thought about inclusiveness, you will understand better. I'm not taking much time because I want to give more time to her for her presentation. On behalf of all gathered here, I once again welcome Dr. Sony Mary Varghese. Let's put our hands together and welcome her. I welcome all the delegates and participants from various colleges who are attending this seminar. I also welcome all our students and all the fellow participants to this seminar. Have a nice session. Over to you, Dr. Sony Mary Varghese.
Thank you, Dr. Asha. Asha was my schoolmate and my classmate and my close friend since my school days. See, not school days, college days, and was my junior in RI Mysore. She was my junior. So, Dr. Priya, your principal, she was my junior in RI Mysore, very close friend of mine. So, thank you for this opportunity provided to me by Dr. Asha and Dr. Priya to share very interesting session by Dr. Thiagu. I used to call Dr. Thiagu in my mind as a modern father of modern technology. Is it? You have found it right? How was his class? It was really interesting because he opened to many of us teachers, teacher educators about the relevant aspects in technology. I think his 1 hour class is worth is equal to reading a book of technology or practicing for 1 month. So after that, we are going from technology to inclusive education. I think you are familiar with the term inclusive education, but my topic is slightly different from inclusive education. It's as preparing the prospective teachers for a 21st century inclusive classroom. Can you please tell me what's the difference between a 21st century education? Where are we now? Where are we now? Are we in 20th century? Are we in 20th century? No, we are in 21st century. So just imagine the 2000s and now 2000 we reach 22. So can you say any difference in our teaching learning after the COVID-19 pandemic? After COVID-19 pandemic, what difference? Can you tell me? Yeah, tell me. Yeah, technology has changed us, no? Many of the principals usually complain that our teachers are not using technology in the classrooms. So what happened after COVID-19? What happened? We are compelled to use technology in our classroom. Why? Because the children in front of us are digital students, because they talk in digital terms. So yeah, I think before that we used to call our friends as friends. No, we call by names. Now they call bros, chunks, everything in technological terms, new gen terms. So they're using the cyber terms. The sir was talking about cyber. So the children are using the cyber terms in our normal classes. So that is a great change we happen to see. So just we can see what I mean by 21st century education. I think we are familiar with 21st century education. That means there are 3 types of shifts in 21st century education. They are shifted from, just see, that is economical shift was the, mainly we have technological shift and we have societal shift. So I think before 2019, we had many friends, is it? We have many friends close to our neighborhood. We used to visit our friends, but now we have friends in social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, and no, we love to get more likes, no, thumbs up, congratulations, well done on all through the WhatsApp or through the societal media. So there is a societal shift too. No, there is a lack of interactions. Many of the students after this COVID-19 pandemic, they suffered a lot of depression, anxiety disorders, different types of disorders. It's not because of our online learning, it's because of so many things which I used to discuss later. So these are the 3 shifts I used to mention. These are the essential rules of 21st century. What are the 3 essential rules? 1, the instruction should be child-centered or student-centered because we left everything. The teacher has lost her value. And other thing is that education should be collaborative. Third is learning should have a context. And last is school should be integrated with the society. So I've told you about 3 shifts, which are the economical shift, technological shift, and societal shift. So to manage these shifts, we have to be collaborative. You know what I mean by collaboration? Can anyone say what I mean by collaboration? How can we collaborate? How can a teacher collaborate? Tell me, what I mean by collaboration? Someone was mentioning. Tell me. Yeah? Mike, can you give the caller mic to others? What I mean by collaboration? No, just sit there.
It can be teacher-teacher collaboration.
Yeah, it can be
from the same
institution. It
or
can
from
be student-teacher collaboration. Yeah.
From the same institution, from different institutions.
Yeah, it can be between institutions. It can
will
be within institutions.
Multidisciplinary also.
So what do you mean by collaboration? What do you mean by collaboration?
2 people working together towards one common objective.
2 or more people working together for something. No, usually some people who are selfish, what they'll do, they'll work by their own. No? So you are conducting a national seminar and you are calling resource persons from different fields. Especially when Thiago sir is sitting. I have attended many of the workshops, I think which was addressed by Dr. Thiago. What he just collaborated with many of the institutions. Otherwise, we had technological knowledge equal to 0. Because why our technological knowledge enhanced? Because we had a number of collaborations. So what is the need of collaboration means? Collaboration is essential to enhance our knowledge. And the other thing is that learning should have a context. What I mean by context? Why learning should have a context? Before 2019, I know teachers were lecturing and we used to mug up, is it? So today you have seen a number of technological tools. So what I mean by have a context? We are learning. What is the meaning of enthusiasm? Tell me what's the meaning of enthusiasm? Can anyone tell me what's the meaning of enthusiasm? What? Full of energy. So I am teaching you what is full of enthusiasm means full of energy. Instead of that, I am telling you that I was enthusiastic to come to SJC for presenting this paper. So when I talk to you in the presence, in the terms of a context, the child can understand a concept better if you talk from a context, is it? Context means it should be situation. What do you mean by context? Teaching from a situation. You give an example from a situation. Nowadays, I was there in front of certain 8th and 9th standard students. So they were telling all the classes are boring. So I asked them why all the classes were boring. They told me these classes are not like in YouTube and all. In YouTube, the teachers are teaching very enthusiastically, they are teaching very effectively. These teachers simply, they teach or lecture, sometimes they write on the board. We are not satisfied. So thing is that the situation has changed. And the last is, the school should be integrated with the society. What's the need of integrating a school with the society? We know that school is a part of society. Our children are from the society. So we should engage them with the society. So this is not, I think these are the principles or rules of 21st century. That means how to develop. Here it is written as developing curiosity, developing creativity, developing digital learning, developing technology and all. So let's leave it, no problem. So that means 21st century education is totally different from 20th century or 19th century education because it had a lot of shift. Next we will see what is an inclusive classroom. Tell me somebody was telling. What is I have seen number of papers in the morning. So what do you mean by inclusive classroom? What is an inclusive classroom? What is? It should include all the students. Is this an inclusive classroom? Is this an inclusive classroom? No, but it is just not included because mostly all the participants are more or less of the same age or same ideas and everything. So inclusive education means including all. So who should be included? Who should be included? Who should be included? Or who are excluded? Who are excluded? Who are excluded? Yes, children with special needs. Who are children with special needs? Who are children with special needs? Am I a child with special need? Yes, sometimes. Are you a child with special need? Yes, sometimes. So then tell me who is a child with special need? Children with special needs are physically, mentally. That means they require a special attention. They have a special need that is not needed by a normal child, is it? They don't have a disorder or a disability. Think that they need something that should be special than others, so than a normal child. So why they are to be included? Why they are to be included in our normal? Is it necessary to include them in our normal classroom? Is it necessary? Why? Why they are to be included in a normal classroom? Why? What is the need? No, we can exclude them. What's the need of including them in normal classroom? They should be learned to be sensitive. Then, no, we have a right to education which says that everybody has the right to an inclusive education irrespective of the differences, ability or skill. No, we have that right. So take that. That means all children have the right to be educated in a normal classroom. So see, we are all different. Yet we are one. I asked you one thing, whether this is an inclusive classroom. Partly this is an inclusive classroom. Here we have teachers. Here we have B.Ed students. Here we have teacher educators. Here we have others too. So this is a part of inclusive classroom. Think that in an inclusive classroom, we are all different, but we are like India. In India, we say that we have different languages, we have different religion, we know everything, but we say that India is one. We say unity in diversity. Similarly, inclusive classroom is also a unit with diversities. So these are the principles of inclusive class. Just go through it. That is principle of togetherness, principle of equality, principle of participation, nothing, everybody should include it. Principle of acceptance, principle of individual difference and principle of change. That means all these principles are used to follow in an inclusive classroom. So think that we are not students, we are teachers. When you once pass out from SJCE, you are called as teachers and not student teachers. So think that we have to make learning from fun. Morning, sir was teaching us a number of tools that we can adopt in our classroom to make our teaching fun, is it? He told many things. So fun and accessible for every student in a class requires creative solutions. So how can we manage an inclusive classroom? We should adopt certain creative solutions. That I am going to teach you today. What are the creative solutions you can adopt? So thinking all these, we can see that what a 21st century teacher should be equipped with. These are the qualities a 21st century teacher should have. 1, the teacher should collaborate and work with a team. The teacher should have critical thinking, is it? You need critical thinking. What do you mean by critical thinking? What do you have critical thinking? Yes, then what do you mean by critical thinking? Analyze, reason. No, we should use our brain, or we should analyze a situation to find a solution. Problem solving. Do we have problem solving ability? Do we have problem solving ability? Everyone? Good. Then, do we have a communication skill? Good. Do you can cooperate with others? Yes, no problem. Do you have creativity? Yes, very good. Think that to deal with a 21st century classroom, you should be creative. My question is, why you should be creative? Why you should be creative? Why you should be creative? Think that a classroom, we have a visual impaired child, we have a hearing impaired child, we have a learning disabled child, along with the normal students. Will you teach, will you adopt the same methodology for all this? Will you adopt the same methodology? Then how can you adopt different methodologies in the same classroom for all this? Oh yeah, you have to use your creativity. And the last one is leadership. Are you a good leader? Are you a good leader? Oh, very good. SJC students are good leaders. So you should be good leaders. That means you should be good leaders in managing an inclusive classroom. So while discussing all these, we should think that a teacher should be a superhero like a Spider-Man. Now, what is the specialty of Spider-Man? What's the specialty of a Spider-Man? Spider-Man is just like a person who just saves the life of others. What's the specialty of Spider-Man? You are not familiar. Mysore people are not familiar with Spider-Man. No, Kerala people they are very much familiar with Spider-Man. So Mysore people are not familiar, I think so. Who is Spider-Man? You are familiar with Spider and Man. Then tell me, who is Spider-Man? He is an Avenger. What is the specialty of Spider-Man? He fights crime. No, Spider-Man does things that is not possible for a normal human being. No, he is a superhero. No, he can jump from building to building. See, from 10-story building to 98-story building. You have seen many stories like Spider-Man. So a teacher should be like a Spider-Man. That means a teacher should be a superhero. Think that you are all going to become teachers. So teachers should be a superhero in disguise. When you are in front of a classroom, think that who you are. Who you are? Yes. When you feel, one of my friends told me, when I was to present something, I think some 9 years back, I think I was just started my B.Ed course, I think B.Ed teacher. So I had to present something. So one of my friend told, you just stand in front of the students and in front of the audience and think that you are a superhero. No, that means a superhero means, what is his role? He can save all the people, or he can save all the people in front of the people who are sitting in front of him. So think that teachers are superheroes in disguise. Don't forget that. If you have fear to face some audience, what you should think? What you should think? I am I am a superhero in disguise. Don't forget. So think, how to be a superhero? How can you become a superhero? Can you jump like Spider-Man? You should jump sometimes. Because our children know it's very difficult to manage a children. Sometimes you have to jump, sometimes you have to fly. Very good. Sometimes you have to fly. So we should learn all these things. So to become a superhero, you should have 2 things. No, 3 things. One is, read the first sentence. Can you able to read? A teacher leader thinks beyond the wall of the classroom to impact others. So the first thing a superhero should do is, he should think beyond. That beyond is very important. Think beyond. It's very difficult for us to think normally, then it is very difficult for us to think beyond. So think beyond. So next you see, the role of a teacher leader is leading learning of their colleagues. They are seen as experts in the classroom around specific pedagogy. That means the teacher, superhero should learn beyond. See? And the third thing you can tell me, we are not afraid of working above and beyond. That means the third thing you have to do is work beyond. So how a superhero can exist, tell me 3 things. One is, a superhero can Should, not can, should. Think beyond, learn beyond, and work beyond. Have you understood? So, a superhero should be think beyond, learn beyond, and work beyond. So next, with all these things, we should have certain qualities. How to become a superhero? Once you cannot become a superhero. I was talking to Dr. Thiago. No, it was his hard work and experience he had. He was taking a class in the morning. I was observing how not casual. So how how much expertise he has in all these technological tools. It is not gained from one day. He had taken many years because he had MA technology, PhD in technology, everything. So what you should do, you think that it should take many years. That means we should have certain qualities. The first quality is passion. Can you tell me what is passion? Do you have a passion towards teaching? Do you have a passion towards teaching? Tell me then what is passion? Thiago sir, no, he has a passion towards technology. No. So then tell me what is passion? Tell me. Just scrolling. His passion. I'll show you some of your teachers. This is a best site you should refer. That is 10 most unconventional teachers with passion. If you have time to read all these, this site mentions you about some teachers with passion. Just I'll mention about 2 teachers. This boy, see this boy. His name is Babar Ali. He is only 21 years old and he is now the principal of an education institution with 6 teachers and 400 students. He started his teaching career from 15, at the age of 15. At the age of 15, what we used to do? In which class we are studying at the age of 15? 10th standard. So from 10th standard, he started teaching and now he is 21, now 2 years back he is 21 and he is now the principal of an institution with almost 6 teachers and 400 students. So is it possible? Because he has a passion towards teaching. Next one is Aditya Kumar. See, he is traveling every day 200 kilometers. What? No, see his cycle has all the gadgets. If your teacher tells during your practice teaching, you should show charts, you should show something, it's very difficult for us to take a single chart or a single working model per day, is it? This man is holding a number of things in his cycle and he rides 200 kilometers for what? 100 kilometers, I think to and fro, for what? Simply to teach children. So this shows his passion towards teaching. One more I'll show, just one more. One more, down. One more. This is under Arvind Gupta. One more. This is a person from Kerala. He is very nearby to Mysore. He is staying, I think, almost 3 hours from Mysore. He used to go every day, see a bag on his shoulder. He used to carry everything because he has to, I think, swim 12 kilometers, swim because you have to swim across a river to go to his school. What he'll do, he used to carry his bag with his, I think, shirt, everything, and with shoes and everything. And after crossing the river, what he'll do means he got the national award last year. I think last year or but when he got the national award and the Kerala state award too. So this means, I want to change it. This means we should have a passion towards teaching. I told we should be superheroes. So to become a superhero at a moment is not possible. So for that we should have, first one is we should have a passion towards teaching. Integrity. What is integrity? We tell our students, tell headmaster that I was teaching the whole class. Sometimes, for example, I'll give you an example. Sometimes certain teachers, they go out from the class for 1 hour. Say they do some side businesses, then they used to tell the students that tell the headmaster that I have gone for a classwork. When the headmaster comes, the headmaster asks, where's the teacher? What does the students tell? But the students knew that the teacher has gone for some side business. That is where we lack integrity. What does integrity means? Honesty. We lack honesty because how the students learn be honest? Because we are teaching them to be dishonest. We are teaching them to say say what? Lies. That means we are losing the integrity. So we should have passion, integrity, then collaborative. Oh, it is already told. Collaborativeness, communicative, positive attitude. What do you mean by positive? Do you have a positive attitude towards teaching? Do you have a positive attitude towards teaching? How can assure that you have a positive attitude towards teaching? How you can assure that you have a positive attitude towards teaching? Not teaching, positive attitude. Be positive. What do you mean by be positive? What do you mean by be positive? Positive means think positive, do positive, say, speak positive. Everything should be positive. So while we are teaching in a class, a teacher should have a positive attitude. Then confidence. Are you confident? Are you confident? For what? Sometimes we lack of confidence. So be confident always. Then fearlessness. Do you have fear? Do you have fear? But it say that you should have certain fear in front of the students. But fearlessness is one of the qualities you should have. Then inspirational. I have seen many of the teachers here. So they are inspiring. What do you mean by inspirational? What do you mean by inspiring? Who are the inspiring teachers? Who are the inspiring teachers? Or are all teachers inspiring? Are all teachers inspiring? No, some teachers are inspiring. So what's the difference you can feel? What's the difference? They live or they practice what they preach. One thing. And another thing, how they inspire through the qualities, through the words. No, inspiring means they have an influence over us. Some teachers, they have an influence over us. Some teachers don't have an influence over us. Think that you should inspire your students. And the last is, next is the competences. So these are the qualities I taught. What is the difference between a quality and a competency? What do you mean by competency? Competency. What do you mean by competency? Skill. What do you mean by competency? Skill. We should have certain skills. Apart from the qualities, we should have certain skills. So what are the skills we should have? Vision of an eagle. What do you mean by vision of an eagle? Sharp eye. An eagle has a sharp eye. An eagle can see from, I think an eagle has an 1/5, I think from the top of a place, the eagle can almost overlook from the top to almost 1/5 of its surroundings. That means whole place. So we should have a vision of when you're standing in a classroom, sometimes we can see when a teacher turns to write the board, what the children used to do? They speak. Sometimes they speak, sometimes they do something, sometimes they work on the mobile. But what should a teacher do? A teacher should have, in Malayalam we say, chuttum kannundayirikkanam. That means we should have eyes around. So even you are speaking here, the eye should also have eyes behind. Otherwise, it's very difficult to manage a class. Courage of a tiger. Tiger is very much courageous. No, we should be courageous. You know that it's very difficult to tackle the problems of children. So when you go to, it's very difficult to identify who is telling the lie. It is very difficult to identify who is a thief. No, last, I think 2 months back, one of my students, she has gone for practice teaching. She found that one of their students' mobile phone is missing. But the mobile phone is not seen in any one of the bags of any one of the students. But the mobile is missing within 5 minutes. The teacher, the teacher has I called the principal, the teacher informed the other authorities, but none cannot do. And finally, at the end of 2 hours, the mobile was found out from a place which was not a usual place. So think that our children has more critical thinking than the teacher. So we should be very much confident, we should be courageous in front of our students to tackle the problems of the children. Then wisdom of an owl. In a jungle or whenever there is a problem arises, the animals usually consider owl as the judge. So because owl has the wisdom, that means we should have a wisdom of an owl. Memory of an elephant. Elephant has a strong and good memory. Industry of an ant. What do you mean by industry of an ant? Industry of an ant. In Bible we have a quoting that is look at and you look and study by looking at the ant because it hard works. No, The ant used to, what is the ant used to? The ant used to collect everything before raining, and she or it used to collect all these things before before the raining. That means it hard works. Charisma of a lion. When we see different animals, see the face of the lion. See the face of the lion. The face of the lion is totally different from face of all others. It has a charisma or a personality. Then, cheerfulness of a cricket. What is a cricket? What is a cricket? How the cricket, you know, you have seen a cricket. Once if it is sitting, it jumps to other place. So, that is mean be cheerfulness of a cricket. Sincerity of a, as a teacher, do you have a sincere, are you sincere? How many of you tell that I am sincere towards my students? How many of you can assure that I am a sincere teacher? How many of you can assure that I am a sincere teacher? It's very difficult for us to raise a hand. How many of you can assure that I am a sincere teacher? Because you are teacher students. How many of you can assure that you will become a sincere teacher? You will become a sincere teacher. No, it's very difficult. None can, you can assure us, but you should assure that you should be sincere. So these are the competencies: vision of the eagle, then wisdom of an owl, memory of an elephant, industry of an ant, courage of a tiger, charisma of lion, cheerfulness of a cricket, and sincerity of a dog. So with all these qualities and competencies, what you can do in an inclusive classroom? What you can do? 1, emotional support. So you have qualities, you have competencies. So in an inclusive classroom, what you can do? What you can do? Emotional support. Do you know which is the most trustful relationship in schools? A teacher-taught relation. How should it be? How should it be a teacher-taught relationship? We should not be too much lenient. We should not be too much aggressive. Then how should be? It's very difficult to manage children nowadays. So how you should be? Empathetic, very good. Empathetic. Impartial. Are you an impartial teacher? Are you an impartial teacher? Are you like to become an impartial teacher? Yes. Then, so empathetic, impartial, then. Approachable, very good. Approachable teachers. Sometimes it's very difficult to approach a teacher in school. So we should be approachable. So we should give a totally emotional support to the student. Next is academic support, that I will mention in other things. Academic support means break learning into tasks. This is a simple one. Probe regularly to check understanding, provide regular feedback, present information visually and verbally, which I will go to show in the next slides. Use diagrams, graphics and pictures, provide independent practice, model what the students do. These are the academic support. I'll give you more details in the next slides. Next is a social support. So how can you socially support your children? How can you socially support your children? The morning, I think Ashwati, your name is Ashwati. Ashwati was presenting a paper. So you see, it was a social support. Share your spare. So it was a social support. You can practice in your schools. So they're practicing different things. You can practice it differently. So you can adopt certain social service or community intervention programs in your school. You can plan. They have given very, very innovative names for that. Okay. So such social support you can do. This I'll give you, now I'm going within the short time, within 20 minutes, I'll going to share with you some of the strategies you can adopt in your normal classroom and also in inclusive classroom. See, cognitive strategies, I think you're familiar with all these. Concept mapping you're familiar with? Yes, no, you're familiar with. Then visualization you're familiar with. Making associations. You know what, give me a term, what is making association? For example, I'll give you a method for remembering things in a classroom. You have a chart or something with you, we have a board here. Board is something, nothing. No problem, no problem. If you want to learn something, so see, here this is a room. This is a room. Don't write anything, don't write anything. Somebody, take a piece of paper. White paper, I write. I'll give her some names. Just watch. Table, chair, vase, VAC, water, book, table. It's here, we can place. Then no. The big one. No need. Then chair, table, watch, book, then pen, fish, plate, door, clock. How many of them it is? 11. Then clock, then table you have written, chair you have written, then stand, fan, carpet. When it's 15 you stop. 14. Then one more is required, flower. All of you close your notebooks. Just close your notebooks. Simply. Leave your pen on the table. Yes, ready. Everyone, you can watch the person sitting next to you. I'm going to read 15 words. Just I'll read, okay? After reading, I'll give you 30 seconds. You should memorize these words and yes, don't write, you should just tell. Oh, okay. I'm reading, I'll read slowly. Flower, don't write. Carpet, fan, don't use a mobile too. Stand, once again, just wait. Flower, carpet, fan, stand, clock, door, plate, pen, fish, watch, book, chair, vase, water, table. How many of words I have told? Once more. Fish, cloak, stand, fan, carpet, flower. Flower, once again. Flower, carpet, fan, stand, clock, door, plate, fish, pen, watch, book, water, chair, table, vase. How many words are there? 20. 15 words are there. 15 words. Just think what I've told. Just you memorize. Reflect on it. I'll give you 30 seconds. Don't write. Two seconds more. Yes. Can anyone stand up and tell all the 15 words? No, you can stand up, no problem. Is it? What? Flower. Yes. You just count. Okay. Clock. Table. Plate. Fish. Vase. Door. Chair. Stand. Fan. Book. Pen. Fish. Vase. Very good. Very good. What's your good name? Meghna. Can anyone? Meghna told. Someone from PKM College? You're from SJC? Yeah. Can anyone from PKM? You try, just try, I'll help you, just try. Yeah. Chair, see, Table, book, pen, flower, carpet, fan, stand, vase, fish, door, plate, water. Two more, only two more you can. Watch. One more. Stand you already told. Pen also she told. Clock. Yes, good. Clock. Yes, congratulations. You are also from PKM. So both come. So can anyone, once more I'll give a chance, can anyone? From boys. You have a good memory like an elephant. So tell me. Yes, you can. You just hear, I cannot hear from door. Fan, book, pen, carpet, clock, watch, fish, water, door, chair, table, vase, flower, plate, stand. Good. So give a good clap for all these. Sir, anyone from boys? You can. You just try. I think he wants. You just help him. Flower, you just help him. Okay, flower, carpet, fan, door, stand, chair, clock. Did anyone count? Two more. No problem, you can. No problem. Good, sit down. At least he tried. Now the three people you just stand up. What's your good name? Manisha, Meghan and one more. What's your name? Rinku. How did you remember all this? I just explained, I just read out for I think 30 seconds. Then how did you do?
They look all these things that are in the hall.
Share, or mic one. She is explaining the method. Okay.
First of all, by telling ma'am, I was just seeing on our hall.
Okay.
What
observed.
are the
You observed all this in this hall itself.
And I'm starting from where I am. I'm sitting in a
She started
chair.
from where she is now.
That's
the
why I'm
table and chair.
table and chair and book and pen. That's why I connected. At last.
She made a connection. So she observed and she made a connection. And so you remembered. 1 minute. Meghana, how did you do? You can just give it to her. So, okay. Tell me, how did Meghana
I just connected the things which are there in front of me. So, and it is also known syllables and it is very easy syllables to remember.
Yeah.
So, it is not unfamiliar syllables. So, that's how I remember.
Okay. You just give it to her. Tell me.
All the words what ma'am said was present here only.
Very good.
So I thought to connect. When she said fan, I saw there, and when she said stand, there is some stand, and then she said chair, book, pen. All are related and connected words. And when she said water, we all carry water bottle. And when she said fish lives in water. So that's how I connected and memorized.
Yes, very good. Did you want to explain something? How did you remember? Yes, give him also.
I remembered in a way that I was walking inside, somebody welcomed me with a flower, and I entered the door, and I could see a sense of cold breeze of a fan from above. Then I kept the book on the stand, and I saw the clock. Then I entered, and they gave me a chair, and they gave me a plate. So I don't know why they gave me a pen in the plate. Along with that, they gave me a fish. So they served me a water and there was a flower vase on the table. And I saw the watch.
Very good. Really appreciable. So all these persons, why others could not remember? Why others could not remember? Why others could not remember? That's the most important thing. Why others could not remember? You just heard what I told. Simply, randomly you, just water, watch, clock, oh, everything we know well, because all the things are familiar to you. Because I think all these are familiar to you because it's in and around. See, here in this room, everything is there. No, whatever, I think all the words, I think plate, fish, except fish is not there. Because I forgot about fish. So fish is not there. All other things are here. So what did they first do? They observed all those things. So he is, what's the name? Nicholas. Oh, he had done in a different, what it is also very good. So they observed something, and after observation, what did they do? They associate something. No, they associated with their room. So after observation, they associated and finally remember. This is one of the method you can use in a classroom. So you can make some children, it's very difficult for them to learn chemistry. No, chemistry is an abstract paper. So they used to complain. So some of the formulae, we know that. So in such case, we can use all these things. That is chunking and all. Just okay. Chunking and this method is known as OR method of remembering. What is this method known as? This method is known as OAR. OAR, what is O? O is observation. What is A? Association and remembering. OR method of remembering. Oh, this is known as the association method. Similarly, we have chunking. You know what is a chunk? Who is a chunk? You are all chunks. Here we have chunks. Here you have chunks. Don't have chunks in Mysore. Then who are chunks? So very close together. So my phone number is 9447941606. So tell me my phone number. Tell me my phone number. Meghana, I think she has a memory like an elephant. Tell me. No, not this, the PowerPoint. Tell me, my phone number. Yes. Lost one digit, no problem. 9447941606. So can you make it as a chunk? Can you make 3 chunks out of it? What are the chunks? 3 chunks. 9447 is a chunk. Then 941 is a chunk. 606 is another chunk. So for like that you can divide or you can make into categories. So chunking is the mnemonics. I think you are familiar with mnemonics, no? You are familiar with Vibji or like that. You are familiar with mnemonics. 1 minute. No, sorry. I'll show you. PPT here only. PPT I think is in different only, no?
It's in downloads, no?
I then take from the download, no problem. You just close it, no problem. No, from download. Yeah, it's here. No, take from there, no problem. No, otherwise you can take it from the downloads. Say F5, do F5. F5 is here, no? No, not like that. Just share. So no problem. You can come from, I can take from other. Boys. No, I'll show you. I'll show, no problem, I can take. I think the presentation marking. I think presentations mode. It's downloading now. Yes, I have taken, okay, no problem. Yeah. Yeah, open it. 1 minute. Okay. I'll show you. No, but I think it is not in the F5 mode. Okay. I think F5 mode you cannot do. It's not possible, I think so. Okay. Okay, then, so these are the cognitive strategies you can adopt in your classroom. So, chunk association, scanning, underlining, using mnemonics and all. So, these, I think you are familiar with graphic organizers. I think you have seen graphic organizers. I'll show you graphic organizer. 1 minute. Graphic organizers, semantic organizer, I'll show you semantic organizer, thinking maps, I'll show you. These are the graphic organizers. I think different graphic organizers you have. This is a graphic organizer that can use for dyslexic students. Morning, somewhere, I think somebody was speaking about dyslexia. Now, what was the problem with the dyslexic students? They have problem with words. In such case, this can be used for dyslexic students. This is a graphic organizer for reading. The child cannot retain or the child cannot remember all the words. In such case, he can prepare a graphic organizer or a chart like this. So, who are the characters of the story? So, what is the setting of the story? So, what is the problem? What is the solution? What is the main thing? You can change those flow charts. So, this is an example of a graphic organizer for reading. So, this is another graphic organizer we can see in the textbooks. I think in the lower classes we can see this. These are the words related to school. So, this is a concept map. I think you are familiar with concept map. This is a concept map prepared by one of the child. So, have you seen this ice cream cue cards? Oh, ice cream cones. Have you seen this? So, what is the specialty of this ice cream cones? What is the specialty of this ice cream cones? How you used to eat a ice cream cone? You start from the bottom. You start from the top. So, we eat layer by layer. So, similarly, you can prepare a cone like this. That means a child find it difficult to learn something difficult, you place it at the top. So, place it at the top and from I think the top to bottom, see the difficult level decreases. So, you can prepare like this an ice cream cone. So, this is about a semantic organizer. So, difference between graphic organizer and semantic graphic organizer is that semantic graphic organizer is used to learn English or languages because we should give meanings for that. So, sometimes we have to remember about the definitions. So, you can use it for science also, for characteristics, examples, non-examples. Are you familiar with any models of teaching? What is this model of teaching? Good. This is known as the concept attainment model. So, instead of remembering the whole lesson plan, you can prepare a graphic organizer like this. This is another semantic organizer. See, where we use a and the. Sometimes we are confused. So, these children with dyslexia, it's difficult for them to remember all this. In such case, you can prepare a semantic organizer like this. So, this is another type of semantic organizer about sports. See this Venn diagram. You are familiar with this Venn diagram. So, what's the use of this Venn diagram? It shows the similarities and dissimilarities between the words. We can do this. Then these are the thinking maps. Are you familiar with the thinking maps? Anyone thinking, anyone there? No, you know the term thinking maps? So, you know, cognitive map is different from thinking maps. Thinking maps means there are 8 thinking maps are there. One is we can use in your normal classroom too. This is a circle map when you have to show that categories, some inside, animals, birds. You have to differentiate between animals and birds. You can use circle map. You have tree map when there are classification to 3 parts. Bubble map which I have already shown. Double bubble map. So, here we can compare and contrast. Then flow chart, I think flow maps are the multi-flow maps. If when you have to compare between 2 concepts, you can use a multi-flow map. Brace map. For you have to, I think, mention about different characteristics of conductors. You can use that. Then bridge map. Bridge map, the peculiarity is you can use it for analogies. You know analogy? Analogy means comparing the similarity. No, we can compare eye and the lens, eye and the camera. So, in such case, we can use this brace map. So, these are the thinking maps, just bubble map. These are the differences. We use a Venn diagram, parallel circuit and series circuit. Again, this thing. This is a brainstorm web. This is a brain, we are familiar with the term brainstorming. What is the use of brainstorming? So we are giving an issue. No, we are discussing about an issue in the class. The children have to discuss in their groups and bring out with the solutions to problems. So this is a brainstorm web for a dyslexic child, because what are the, how can we see, how can we hear and all. This is a brainstorm web. And this is a picture cue card. I think picture cue card you're familiar with, because we can show pictures like flashcards. You can give clues in that. Not simple a picture. Inside the picture you can give simple clues. So these are the picture cue cards, for example. Then these are the story maps. Do you know about story maps? You can prepare a story map. So by learning the whole story, you can prepare a map, and the whole map you can depict all the main incidents in terms of pictures. So this is known as story maps. Then this is the storyboards. These storyboards are prepared by me. The storyboards are about polar bear. You know, polar bear is an animal that lives in Mysore. Polar region. Which is a polar region? Arctic region. So one of my student have to present, this is in her class. So this was a story map. It's in the form of a book. So the whole thing about polar bear is inside the storyboard. You can prepare by using a cardboard. These all things you can use in a normal classroom and also in an inclusive classroom. This is sequential, or this you can use for social sciences. Sequential classroom. These are the assistive technologies. While Tiago sir was mentioning about different technologies, assistive technologies are technologies that used to assist the children having problems. Morning, I think Nasia discussed about two things, spellbound and, Nasia is here? No. Spellbound and Thiabo. Yes. What was the two things you mentioned? Spellbound and Thiblo. It was two assistive technologies that can be used for children with disabilities. We have different types of this. Then these are the activities we used to do, building puzzles and this simple games and all. Then visual readiness. Have you heard? Some children with different problems, even learning disability, they face problems to remember things, memorize. In such case, you can, another thing is, I think somebody was presenting a paper on this. So they have a positive character, means they have proper visual readiness. Whatever they visualize, they can remember it in their brain. So more than words. So for them, we can use all these tracing shapes, eye catchers, alphabet soups. Have you heard about these terms? Alphabet soup means it's a soup, it's a bowl full of alphabets. When you ask a child to identify the alphabet, she or he can identify the alphabet. Then language labels, letter match, etc. These are the eye catchers, and the alphabet soups are the eye catchers, means showing the pictures with more colors and or eye catchers. Then picture cards. So this can be used, different picture cards are the. Then Nasia itself mentioned about music. Some children are very interested in music. In the case, we can use music therapies are the. So by using music beats, you know, do, re, mi, fa, and in I think sarigama and all. So by using those terms, we can teach them about the rhythms and all. Using rhythms, we can teach them about the alphabets. Then these are the different methods we can use to remember. Chunking and all I told. Oral swap method. I think, have you heard about this swap method? Swap method means save, why, and what audience practice. That means when you teach something, teach the child why you are learning this. Or what we are more familiar with teaching a child what to learn. But better teach them why to learn. That is why should be, that is cause and effect relationship. Then this is one word a day. This can be used for, I think, English teachers. One word a day, mapping, webbing, remembering. I told or method means observation, association, remembering. This is another one, mapping, webbing and remembering, the same thing. Then concept analysis, strokes. Strokes means giving importance to or highlight the important thing, analgetics, cut-ups and all. Then for this is for writing, students with writing disabilities, you can trace, and I think you're familiar with all this. Trace and write, write and trace, tell, and this we used to do in schools, I think. Tell and write, disappearing dots. We have cursive writing and all. Disappearing dots are the alternative communications and all. Then this is copycat. This all you can get it in Google. Since the time is over, I'm going to stop. So this all things you can get it in Google. You can use this for your normal classroom, also for inclusive classroom. Copycats are the alphabet trace, I think you're familiar with. Then trace erase. We can trace and erase in a magical board. I think there is an assistive technology known as magical board. You can use it, a child if has a dyslexia or something, you can make the child to trace on it, and using this magical board, you can erase it also. And you can use the same board for writing all the alphabets. Then dyscalculating, you're familiar with children with dyscalculia, those with having mathematical problems. So similarly, number of strategies are there. You can allow use of fingers and sketch. Or number of activities are there for students with dyscalculia. Provide peer assistance, suggest use of graph paper, suggest use of colored pencils, using assistive technologies and all. Then intervention for this, a child with mainly there are math related games. I think when you search in web, you will get virtual manipulatives. So for maths, and I think for English also, there are virtual manipulatives. It is better you can use virtual manipulatives for learning maths, because you can show all these things. What you are teaching, the arithmetic operations, plus, minus and all, you can teach by using virtual manipulatives. It is very easy to teach them by using the virtual manipulatives. Don't forget the name, virtual manipulatives. And these are we used to simply, we used to repeat. We used to do time testing, paired work and all. These are the manipulated tools. Don't forget, manipulated tools are examples of virtual manipulatives. Mathematical games are there. So these are sorting. They are, these dyslexic students, they have problem with words, I told you. You can use alternatives for written assignments for them. That is, drawings are there, plays, videos, graphs, collages, concept maps. So these audio recordings, flow charts, simulations, mentioned about simulations. So we can reproduce something, some original, micro teaching is a simulation of? Micro teaching is a simulation of what? What is micro teaching? You haven't learned about micro teaching? Yes, what is micro teaching? Teaching a short amount. Teaching a short amount within a short time for a small group by a short teacher. Who is teaching? Your teacher is taking you micro teaching. No, a student teacher used to do. Say everything is short or everything is small. So that is a simulation. So simulation means we are designing something that is exactly like that. So we are designing a car. So before designing a car, we can simulate the exact conditions by using the mathematical design. So these simulations can be used to teach this maths for dyscalculia. Oral presentations, photographic essays are there, then cartoon. You are familiar with sine tunes? Are you familiar with sine tunes? Sine tunes. Sine tunes, S-C-I-E-N-T-O-O-N-S, sine tunes. Sine tunes are cartoons in science. You can prepare cartoons for teaching science for this children with dyslexia, even in our normal classroom. Science tunes means science cartoons. This is the inside a bit. These are and all the OAR method we can use. Methods to improve, I already mentioned. This method of loci, OAR method I've told. Then pegboard method. I think pegboard method, key methods. We used to imagine, for suppose your mother give you 5 things to buy. For example, rice, egg, then what else? Rice, egg, something like that. You just have a mental imagery in your mind. So first you remember rice at the bottom. So place the egg at the top of the rice. Then above the tea powder. You just remember all these things. So bottom is rice. On the top it is, and on the top it is, then papad at the top. So what are at the bottom? Rice, and at the egg, then tea powder, then papad, then sugar. So remember, at the bottom, rice, then at the top, egg at the top, tea powder at the top, papad at the top, sugar. So this is known as a pegboard method. This is a mental imagery method. You just remember, when you go to the shop, you just remember what all things my mother. So at the bottom is, above the rice, then above that, above that, above that. So up to how many number you can memorize like this? Many, depending on the capacity. So this you can teach your children. Then what? This is known as the mental imagery method or pegword method. Then these are the loci method, keyword method, etc. You know, you are familiar with mnemonics, I told. Then these are the assistive technologies. Assistive technologies requires technology. It requires a technological advice, word processors with spell checkers. This is for children with, not for that. Word processor for children with dyslexia, not for that. Then along with them, who also is benefited? Visually impaired also. Then text to speech, morning sir was teaching us text to speech and speech to text other. Those for, again for blind students are talking calculators, again for blind, books on tape, again for blind, computer based activities for everyone other. Then classroom assistants for both HI and VI also are there. Note takers for again I think blind and also visually impaired are there. Not visually impaired, hearing impaired. Readers are there, proofreaders are there, many assistant technology. If you want to work more on this, there are a number of assistive technologies you can work on. So that means, yes, we can. So initially I told, we had two challenges. One is, we have to maintain or we have to manage a 21st century classroom. We have to face. Another thing, we have to manage a inclusive classroom. So both challenges we can do with a diverse methodologies we can adopt. So with diverse methodologies, we can adopt and we can solve all these problems. So finally, I want to summarize this thing. So you are going to face a class, an inclusive class in a 21st century classroom. So don't like a normal teacher. You should be someone extraordinary, because you have to learn all these methods, you have to follow, you have to adopt all these methods, and you should be familiar with all these methods. These are only very few areas I have mentioned, but when you go through internet, when you go through Google, you will get lot of information about the different methodologies you can adopt. So try to adopt, try to become a superhero, otherwise it's very difficult, because children are already superheroes. So since they are superheroes, we should become superheroes. Otherwise, we will be outdated from this education. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for highlighting the importance of inclusive education and effective strategies that are used to better equip the classroom for inclusive educational practices. It is utmost importance for a teacher to enhance competencies that aid better learning outcomes. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us an interactive and information seminar. Now, I invite Mrs. Johar Fatima, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, SJCE, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. It's a small prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of St. Joseph's family and all the participants present here, I convey a deep regards and hearty thanks to our resource person, Dr. Sony Mary Varghese, for her accepting our invitation and being here with us today in spite of her busy schedule. Your thoughts on rules of 21st century, your insightfulness on inclusive classroom have enlightened us, ma'am. And yes, I do agree that teachers are indeed super duper heroes. Now, I request Dr. Asha P. Patros to present a memento as an appreciation to Dr. Sony Mary Varghese for the time and valuable inputs she has shared with us today. Thank you, ma'am. Finally, I'm very much thankful to all the participants present here in this session. Without you all, this session would not have been an eventful one. Thank you.